Let's look at the 24th through 27th Amendments of the U.S. Constitution. The 24th Amendment makes voting free for everyone. Yes, you heard that correctly. Before 1964, some states required people to pay a poll tax, which was a fee to vote. These taxes were usually used to stop poor people, especially Black Americans, from voting. Even though the 15th Amendment gave Black men the right to vote in 1870, poll taxes were one of the many ways to keep them from the ballot box. The 24th Amendment banned poll taxes in federal elections, making it illegal to charge people to vote. The 25th Amendment is the one that keeps the government running smoothly if something happens to the president. Ratified in 1967, this amendment has 4 sections. Section 1 says that if the president dies, resigns, or is removed from office, the vice president immediately becomes president. This happened in 1974 when Richard Nixon resigned and Gerald Ford took over. Section 2. If the vice president's spot is empty, the president can nominate a new one. Congress then votes to approve them. Now, one of the reasons that this was finally put into writing was because when JFK was killed in 1963, Vice President Lyndon B. Johnson immediately became president, but there was no clear process for filling the now empty vice president spot. For over a year, Johnson served without a vice president. Section 3. If the president knows they can't do their job, like during a surgery, they can temporarily hand power over to the vice president. Once they're ready, they can take back control. So yes, we have had a temporary woman president when Joe Biden underwent a routine colonoscopy on November 19th, 2021, and formally transferred power to Vice President Kamala Harris for about 1 hour and 25 minutes. Section 4. If the president can't do their job but won't step aside, the vice president and a majority of the cabinet can declare the president unfit. Congress then has to vote. If 2/3 of both the House and the Senate agree, the vice president takes over. In 1971, the 26th Amendment lowered the voting age from 21 to 18 because if 18-year-olds could be drafted to fight in wars like Vietnam, they should have the right to vote too. The 27th Amendment says Congress can't give itself a pay raise that takes effect right away. Any raise has to wait until after the next election. Why? To make sure politicians are accountable to the voters. If they want a raise, they have to face the people first. This amendment was actually proposed in 1789 as part of the original Bill of Rights, but it wasn't ratified until 1992, thanks to a college student who rediscovered it and started a campaign to get it passed. Now remember, the process for how an amendment is passed is laid out in Article 5 of the Constitution. In that, there is nothing that requires a time limit for ratifying amendments, but since 1917, Congress has often set a 7-year deadline. The 27th Amendment, however, had no deadline and took over 200 years to be ratified.